Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blog Runner Everything, and welcome back to the channel and to the podcast wherever you tuned in from. And today we're going to be having a quick look at Ilkay Gundogan, and just like we did with Mikhail Faye and like we did with Vitor Roque, we're going to be talking about what exactly we can expect to see from Barcelona's latest signing, who is once again a midfielder. And it's going to be a fun one, guys, so I hope you enjoy everything. So just like we did with Vitor Roque, we're going to look firstly at the strengths that Ilkay Gundogan has and how those fit into what Xavi might be trying to do with FC Barcelona, his systems at Barca, and of course we'll look at any weaknesses that there might be, which I don't honestly think there are many for this guy. Honestly, he's that much of a baller. Anywho, without further ado, we're just going to go right ahead, and talk about what we can expect from Ilkay Gundogan, starting, of course, with his strengths. And first up, something which is becoming a bit of a theme, actually, with the signings Barca's made so far, is going to be versatility. Because just like Mikhail Faye could, play at left back and left center back, and Vitor Roque can play at left wing and right wing and center forward. Ilkay Gundogan is also another player who can play in a number of roles. Except for him, it ranges from like deep lying playmaker all the way to a central attacking midfielder, even a shadow striker, so to say, if you'd want to use him in that way. He's capable of doing that. During his time at both Dortmund and Man City, he was used by both Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp in a wide range of positions across midfield, and he excelled honestly in all of them. In fact, you can extend that, say that Gundogan has shown that tactically he can adapt to different systems and approaches to playing the game, just like he was great in Klopp's gegenpressing system, and he was also very good in Pep Guardiola's positional play system. So this for me shows that he has he has a good footballing brain, like people say, he has that high football IQ. So whatever positions that Xavi might be trying to cook up for him, considering that Xavi also plays positional play like Pep Guardiola does, he's definitely going to be able to cope, whether it's going to be, in a double pivot next to Frankie de Jong, or it's going to be, just up there in those high interior places where you usually see Gavi or Pedri operating. Trust that he can do that as well. The next thing that Ilkay Gundogan brings to FC Barcelona that's going to be of huge importance to this team is leadership. Ilkay Gundogan was, in case you did not know, Manchester City's captain during the just ended season, and he successfully captained his team to a treble, playing a major role as well in doing that. So he was captaining from, like the back bench or like the back seat. Now he was definitely in there and he was doing a lot of things. He scored both of the goals in the FA Cup final for Manchester City. He scored some big goals in big games like against Liverpool, and also he scored goals that helped to seal the title. You remember those two goals against Everton in a match where Manchester City was struggling, and he came up with honestly two brilliant goals and threw in an assist for Haaland just for good measure. So he's the type of guy who was able to do all those things, not just because he is technically gifted, which again he is, very, 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 very gifted footballer that he is, but also because he is ready to take responsibility. He is ready to put himself in those situations where he's going to be taking that shot, he's going to be making that play that leads to something big happening, whether it's taking penalties or that kind of stuff. He's ready and he is prepared to take responsibility and to step up and to get his team going in some of the toughest moments. Now obviously that Champions League final which he just won with Man City, probably not the best advert of his talents. Then again, hardly anybody in the Manchester City jersey played well in that game. Move aside from that though, it's going to be very important for Barcelona to have Ilkay Gundogan, with all his experience as captain, because in the last about 7 months, we've seen FC Barcelona lose players like Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba, all of whom are very important players. They played a big role in Barcelona's dressing room, and also they were captains, right? So you lost 3 captains in the space of 7 months, and it's going to be very helpful, I think, to bring in somebody who is a captain and somebody who commands the respect of a dressing room and who has shown that he can do it at the highest level and he can be that guy when his team needs him to be. Just like, our captain was just gone out, Busquets was, and I think, if Gundogan were to end up being Barcelona's captain, for me, that would not at all be a problem. Though, it will be interesting to see what Barcelona's captaincy, situation is going to be like, because you've got like Lewandowski, Ter Stegen, Ilkay Gundogan, I guess Sergio Roberto and Ronald Araujo, all of whom are good captain, material. So I wonder who the 4 are going to be this time around. Because honestly, you're not going to kick Sergio Roberto out, right? Right? Then, of course, there's probably one very big and glaring strength that Gundogan has, which is going to be a huge help to FC Barcelona. That is, of course, his final third contributions. Now, much like his idol Xavi Hernandez, Gundogan is very familiar with the pre-assists, He's not just about things like goals scored, for example, and direct assists, but it's all of that combined together with things like finding the pass to the guy who makes the assist. So, that's what we call the pre-assist. And if we look a little bit deeper actually at Gundogan's numbers and just his overall creative play is quite impressive. He's in the 90th percentile of midfielders when it comes to shot creating passes completed. Okay, not just passes made, but passes completed. And it's important to take note of what happens when a pass has been completed, because if I could, quote something which people are saying came from Xavi, I'm not sure if this actually did come from Xavi, but these days they just really look at the fact that you try to make a pass and they don't not so much look at how good of a pass you made. Were you giving that pass to someone who was in an unmarked, area of the pitch, someone who was a free man, or somebody who was under pressure and maybe then went on to lose the ball. They don't really look at that. But when you look at a stat like shot creating passes completed, then you get a better idea. And for that stat in particular, Gündogan is in the 90th percentile. He's also in the 97th percentile for midfielders when it comes to goal creating actions. So goal creating actions would be anything like, whether it's a dribble, a pass, or a shot that you take that leads to a goal being scored. So just think about it. From all the midfielders out there in the world, the Modric's, the Kevin De Bruyne's and whatnot, name all of them, Gündogan is right there, cream of the crop, 97th percentile. But he is also, of course, in the low 90th percentile for other things like goals scored, like total shots and shots on target per 90. So, his goals per 90, it's pretty good. He's going to bring a lot to FC Barcelona's game. And if we even look at his XG numbers as well, those make for quite good reading as well, because he's really up there in as far as, being again amongst the cream of the crop. So should Xavi choose to use Ilkay Gundogan like Pep did, we can expect him to carry this kind of form to Barca. We can expect to see him bringing a lot of goals and assists into the team, which is something I think that's very necessary, because last season, aside from Robert Lewandowski, none of our other players were able to get into double figures for goals or for assists, right? Well, let's just say for goals. For argument's sake here, right? None of our players are able to do that, and bringing in somebody like him, that helps to at least spread the load. Of course, he didn't score so many goals last season. He only scored 11, and he had just about 7 assists. But once again, when we look at how effective he was in creating opportunities for his teammates, that's something which I think Barcelona can look forward to, and Xavi will be very excited about as well. But then also, there is the small bonus that comes with Ilkay Gundogan, that is free kicks. He is a bit of a dead ball specialist, and when you consider the fact even Lewandowski and Alonso haven't been able to change the fact that the last free kick Barcelona scored was in 2021 by a certain, Argentine number 10, yeah, it's not very encouraging, right? So it's good to see that we're now going to have somebody like Gundogan who can step in with some of those dead ball, duties, those free kick duties. And hopefully this coming season we'll see FC Barcelona score directly from a free kick. Yeah, that'll be a real collector's item. Anywho, I now have to pretend like I'm convinced Gündogan has some weaknesses to his game, and honestly speaking, the weaknesses for me aren't going to be found with anything he does on the pitch, provided Barcelona use him in the ways that have been very effective for, say, Man City and Dortmund in the past. The thing which you could probably point out, which could be a weakness here, is maybe age, because could be looking at this and saying, this guy is 32, he'll be turning 33 soon, and what exactly are we going to get for the next at least 2 years guaranteed? So that's probably the only thing we could throw in there. And maybe if I can push it, injury, because he doesn't have the cleanest injury history, and we all know how Barcelona are with players and injuries. But yeah, that's really all that I could think of in that regard, to be quite honest. And that's also just about all that I have to say in this episode. So you let me all know what you think, like what are going to be some of the things that you most look forward to seeing Gündogan do for FC Barcelona, except for scoring in our Clásicos and leading us to a treble. But aside from that, I thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please do not forget to hit that like button. Do not forget to subscribe as well. And aside from that, I say once again, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, and Forza Barca.